and Slipknot came out, and this huge devil face, like a rat face, was illuminating from the middle with flames coming up, and they have these two drummer characters in their show that play pretty much just play big floor toms, and they just beat them. Well, these big drum risers just rise up into the air and spin around in circles in unison, while all these guys with funny, crazy masks are singing, and they're just the characters in this nutty, crazy show. I was hooked. The other thing that blew my mind is, I don't go to festivals. The festivals kind of shit me all the time, And this is the first time, probably because of boxing, I went to a festival and barely had a drink. I drove home, and so I had a way better time. It wasn't like festivals used to be let's go get Maggot and see our favourite band, and so you'd end up being sloppy and tired. But that's a really good thing to take away from it. Actually, I really saw some music for how those guys on stage were trying to show it to me. And here's what I was talking about. The HD technology in TVs now is so amazing. So the guys running the cameras for these big stages were zooming in so tight on say Slipknot's masks that everyone was pretty much watching the TV instead of looking at the stage, which sounds pretty crap. But the TV is just too big. You could see the singer's eyes through the mask. And I'll never forget, the singer's got this really cool mask. Corey, his name is, or something, right? And I remember him singing this bit, and one of the Slipknot drummer guys with a big nose, he was singing the backups. It was like he was helping him out in this section, and they'd prearranged him to help it out. If I was to be technical, I think that's what happened. And the whole TV screen is zoomed in on the singer's face, and you could see his eyeballs through there. And I just saw him catch a glimpse to the guy that's about to help him on the vocals for a second. It's like, are you doing this, mate? Yes, he did it. He did back to me. Doing it. Damn, it was good. Like an incredible show. A lot of people, I guess, and I would have too. I got home and told some people Slipknot was so good, and everyone goes, Slipknot is such pussies. I'm like, yeah, I probably would have said the same thing. But they really have thought about this concept and gone with it. And can you believe, all these years later, they're still doing this? They're still unknowns, I guess. I don't know. I know there's a keyboard player who wears a helmet made of spikes. You don't even see nearly what his face looks like. So can you believe they kept cool to that concept? That's pretty good, in my opinion. They're running a real show amongst a world where everyone's... I don't know. That's good. I was telling my mate a story I never really tell anyone. I once went to Des Moines, Iowa, to see the Knoxville Nationals sprint car race. And it's like a 4-day event, something like, I don't know, 200, I don't even know, to be honest, 220 sprint cars go to this one little town and try and win the race. And they have all these qualifying races. I can't remember anymore, but anyway, just down the road is Des Moines, and we were staying in Des Moines. I think I was in Marshalltown or something. It's the next suburb over, next town over. And I'm drinking at the bar. I didn't go on the final night of the Knoxville National. I just had enough. We've been travelling for 3 weeks, and the place was so full. I was just over it, and it was playing on live TV. So I thought, no, I'm going to hang in the bar. All the other guys went to see the race. I just had enough. I was going back to Australia the next day, and I'm going to make this a real quick story, but this is why I relate Slipknot to this story. About 6 guys came in to this little bar at the hotel, and in a nowhere town, and I was sitting alone and started to play pool with them, and they were kind of these sort of not tough and not big, or just these little white dudes, but probably early 20s. And I could tell they were trying to be tough, but after a couple of hours, we were kind of mates, but, something was happening. And anyway, I actually swapped shirts with a guy, which is a huge regret. It was a great Simpson T-shirt. But anyway, they left. And but two guys one guy hung around. And a guy I was playing pool with, he goes, "Hey, mate, well, you want a party tonight? Let's go to this party." And I was thinking, yeah, okay, I'll go for a ride, but, I'm going to watch this race on the TV tonight. Anyway, so I get in his car, and, when you know something's weird. Anyway, so we're driving through a town that I've got no idea about, and think cornfields and stuff like that, Children of the Corn. It was kind of this, I guess I was 28 years old. And next minute we pick up one of the guys that was at the bar, but he sits in this weird, he sits in the back seat, but he was really quiet. I was like, "You weren't like that before at the bar. Something's weird." And we drive, and they start playing. He starts to, the guy driving starts to feel me out as to how tough I might be and whether I fought, and I was just talking crap. I started to feel this funny thing, so I started to go, yeah, I've had lots of fights, just went on and on and on, and I started to think, I'll act like an Irish sort of guy, because they don't know anything about Australia, so I kept talking about all this. Next minute we dropped into this house, and I went, "Oh, is this the party?" And they went, No, this isn't the party." And the guy ran under the house and came back, and I had this feeling that he might have got a gun, and things kind of got weird after that. And we got beer, and I remember just keeping up my pretend Irish kind of thing of yeah, and getting over the top. And meanwhile, that's what I mean to say, he starts playing Slipknot. He said, "Have you ever heard of Slipknot?" No. And back then, this would have been 98. Slipknot had just started to make news in Australia for wearing masks, I think. Don't kill me. It could be earlier than that. And I'm going, yeah. And he goes, "So that's my friend's high school band in Des Moines." And so he was talking it from the basis that, like, these are our, our famous friends band. Like, our mate is friends with, he went to the same school as these guys, and they're having huge success. And he was playing it really loud as if to try and scare me, but I'm going, "Yeah, this is great, crank it up." And trying to get them on side with me. So, long story short, all of a sudden we dropped the guy that was in the back off. It's like he didn't want to carry out killing me and stealing my money, because back at the bar I was kind of shouting some drinks, being like an Aussie, like, "Yeah, I'm having a great time on holidays. I'm actually going home tomorrow. Yeah. And these guys were probably thinking, "Great, he's a cashed up Aussie tourist that no one even knows is here. I said too much at the bar, and let's go roll him and chuck him in the cornfields." So they changed their mind and dropped the guy back off. I got dropped back off a hotel, but the guy sort of hung around, and I was trying to get rid of him, and he walked all the way back to my room, and I turned and said, "Well, mate, I'm going." And I looked straight at him thinking, I might have to fight this guy right here. And just to piss him off, because I still didn't understand what he's trying to do. And, he ended up leaving, but it was this weird circumstance. I knew he had different motives, but that's my story about Slipknot. And so I've always known, especially remembered Slipknot from that day forward. America is so weird. There's the strangest. People are on edge, man. People walk around with guns in their cars. It's not as free as what Australia is, that's for sure. They like to think they're free, but they live thinking it's just different all through the Midwest. Very Christian, very odd. Not to say that the people aren't really nice, people are people and they're nice, but you get out in the street, there's not a lot of trust in like, people don't walk around. I would walk the streets. I'd get up in the morning, have a swim, and if we were staying at a hotel and there was a pool, 2 laps, and then go walk around the block, and people are like, hey, we shouldn't do that. Why not? I don't know, people don't do that. You just don't go and walk the block if you're a white guy by yourself or even anyone. And then I noticed, no one's walking. And if they are, they're just sort of... And this is the middle of a nice town. It's like you wouldn't walk the streets of pick a town, anywhere. Bathurst. I don't know. Everyone would walk the streets of Bathurst. So America's a funny place. And good luck to them. They do good at lots of stuff. Anyway, this has been my podcast. I don't want to talk too much. I've looked back at my other podcast. This is podcast number 8. And I'm still enjoying it. I don't care what anyone says. If you listen to this, thanks a lot. And over and out, I'm going to interview a couple of other people this week who are finally trying to get my concept. So, if you listen to this to the end, you suck balls. Over and out. Love ya.